Hey Muses, it's your Tarot Daddy, T-Mann Tarot, coming back at you with another deck review. Hi, my name is Tyler. If you are new here, welcome. Thank you for finding my video. Please, before we get into today's video, please make sure that you give, I forget what the order is, but make sure you give this video a thumbs up, a like, a comment, turn on that notification bell, subscribe, do all of the YouTube-y things so you do not miss another deck review. Hi, my loves. I hope you all are doing well. I know it's been a minute. The energy has just been off. We are currently in Mercury retrograde, and I just haven't been feeling it. But we are coming back because this feels like it's an appropriate time to kind of get this out and get this out there. Today, we will be discussing Seasons of the Witch Winter Tarot, A Journey Through Yule and Imbolc, by Lorraine Anderson and illustrated by Tijana Lukovic. I am so sorry if I butchered your name, but my friends, let's get ready to dive into Seasons of the Witch Winter Tarot. Thanks for dealing with me as I transitioned and set up the lenses and new camera angles. Words are hard. Again, as I said, we're in retrograde, so it's really funky. Seasons of the Witch Winter Tarot. It comes in this lovely box here. It is published by Rockpool Publishing. Hey, girl, let's do a collab, shall we? I don't know. Let's work together. So it says, discover the wintry wisdom of Yule, Imbolc, and the season of rest and reflection in the first new tarot deck series. So as you all know, these creators have Seasons of the Witch, where they follow and go through the witch's wheel of the year, and they have oracle decks for each season. I did buy the corresponding Yule oracle to try to work with this together. So it says, the best-selling series of Seasons of the Witch oracles continues their odyssey. This time, unveiling the beautiful brand new set features the 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. We begin our adventure with the Winter Tarot, where familiar elements of the tried and true Rider-Waite-Smith system are reimagined in an evocative story of festive maidens, snowy creatures, and frosty potions, brews, and magical tools. 78 cards unearth wintry themes of rest, reflection, and, of course, the Sabbats. Explore new harmonic relationships between Yule, Imbolc, and the Earth's barest seasons seamlessly blend to unlock deep divinatory wisdom, all while embracing a new way of the tarot to shift its energy throughout the year. Beautifully said. Now, you might, if you've been here before, you know that I have reviewed one of the Seasons of the Witch oracles. It was my first time doing it, and I was less than impressed. Let me put it that way. Still beautiful, personally, less than impressed, but this time of year is truly my favorite season, so I figured, why not give the tarot and the matching oracle deck a try? And since this goes through Yule and Imbolc, if I like the way that this and the Yule tarot or the Yule oracle read together, then I'll get the Imbolc oracle and kind of work with this kind of energy simultaneously. So, comes in this lovely box. There's a beautiful color on the inside. There is a ribbon when you pull the cards out, and the guidebook, which again, you always get a really hefty and chunky guidebook here for what you're working through. You can store the cards in here. I probably will. I'm not sure. I usually leave them out on my desk when I'm working with them, or within close proximity and close reach, so that way I can kind of gain them together. I have the cards kind of spread out because I've already done just the flip through. I always do that first, so that way I don't mix up the cards beforehand. But let's talk about the cards. So, this is the back of the cards. They do lead to being able to do uprights and inversions, if that is your thing. You can see on the sides, we have this lovely blue gilding on the card. I think I also lost a couple of spots when I cracked open this deck. When you get decks that have gilding on the sides of them, you have to be careful when separating them, because essentially what this gilding does is it kind of seals all 78 cards together, and you kind of have to snap it in a way. If you've had gilded decks before, you understand what I mean by you kind of have to crack it in. I believe a couple of spots did come off when I was cracking the deck, but that's gonna happen, right? And it's gonna rub off, it's gonna come off. If you've ever seen my Fyodor Pavlov tarot, my new tried and true favorite, the gilding on all of the sides, you can see where my thumbs have held on to the deck. So it's wear and tear over time, but I think it gives it that loved, condition, right? So shiny. Now these cards, I don't let me see. There it is. I can find my ring light. Look, they are glossy. Super glossy here, friends. It helps with the shuffle. You'll see in the flip through, every time I would put a card down, it would slide a little. So it's here to help with shuffling. I will definitely, before we go into that transition, I will give you the shuffle and how it works. But these cards are beautiful. Now let's, we do have, as you can kind of see maybe, and you'll see probably closer up in the flip through, but all of these cards, and this was in, Danny Mystic and Lisa Pepez's hot take when they went through it. All of the cards, Winter Pentacles, Winter Swords, Ace of Winter Swords, Ace of Winter Cups, the Winter Fool. So it's interesting here that all of them have the word winter attached to it. Now, my thought process is that maybe down the line you can mix and match. But I am apprehensive about that because I did watch a video where Lisa Pepez went through and tried to make a hybrid of the oracles, but because they were not all produced at the same time, the cuts on the cards are all different. So when we love our decks to be perfectly matched up and lined up, right? But when they're cut at different times, all of the settings may not be exactly the same. So what you can kind of then get is kind of a little offset edges here. So don't know if that's going to be the case here. Let's talk about the guidebook. A chunky and hefty guidebook. One of the things that took me out for the Oracle set is the guidebook. So I don't know necessarily if I'm going to use the guidebook for the tarot. I might let my intuition, and then if I see something that is, right, like the Winter Fool here, you can see that this individual and the fox, right, as this person is transitioning, right, we are leaving autumn, right, we are leaving that season and going into winter, right, it's kind of a foolish time. But if I want to know who these creatures or individuals are, that's what I'm going to probably use the guidebook for. But if this is your first time reading it, absolutely read in, dive in. Especially with tarot, I love to understand why creators and illustrators put on the cards what they put on the cards. So, flipping through, you have a foreword, an introduction, spirit of winter, the season of archetypes, how to use the cards, card spreads, winter tarot cards, and major arcana, right? We go into all of it. I love these illustrations. It's just so whimsical, and it's just a different understanding. Spirit of winter, conversation and adaptability, darkness, deep and inner wisdom, deep ritual, endurance and resilience, hibernation and dormancy, inner work, nourishment, patience and acceptance, reflection, rest and rejuvenation, setting intentions, shelter and protection, silence and meditation, surrender, vulnerability, and warmth. I'm obsessed with that because that is what the end of the year is. In a nutshell, that is what the end of the year is as we kind of go through. Talks about the archetype of the season, how to use the cards, spreads, reversals. Okay, this is important. I have chosen not to include reversals in this series, but should you choose to use reversals, please feel free to do so. I believe reversals aren't needed in tarot as anything you might experience. The reversal is likely available in another card in the deck. Okay, yes, right? Think the Lovers and the Devil card, right? Those go hand in hand with each other, right? They are the reversed meaning of, the Devil is the reversed meaning of the Lovers card. However, should you choose to use reversals, I find it helpful to interpret them as one of two ways. The first is the direct opposite of the upright meaning. For example, the opposite of the Sun card might be a lack of happiness, where the upright means joy. The opposite of the Three of Hearts could be healing from heartbreak, while the upright meaning is typically betrayal, so Three of Swords. The second way I recommend reading reversals is a more stern and aggressive version of the upright. For example, the Four of Pentacles represents frugality, but in the reverse, it can mean it's gotten way too out of control. The Eight of Swords represents failing to see the truth of the situation, which you may or may not be aware of. In the reverse, it can mean you are intentionally choosing to avoid the truth and the harm this behavior is causing. Ultimately, how you read the cards is up to you. Love it. Love it. Combining tarot and oracle. Ooh, okay. Talking about what I am hoping to do with this deck. All right, combining tarot and oracle. Each deck, whether tarot or oracle, has a unique voice, symbolism, and energy that contributes a layer to the reading. Which so many decks to choose from these days, it feels almost a shame to limit the reading to a single option. By adding even just one additional deck to your reading, you can unlock the world of possibilities that transforms your reading into a cohesive and energizing and engaging narratives that resonate to a deeper level. The most natural combination with the Winter Tarot is the Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle or Seasons of the Witch Imbolc Tarot. Love a self-promotion. This tarot deck was designed to work in partnership with these two oracles to further illustrate. Bonus material pages on 196 for inspirations on how to combine them. Let's see what they say. It just tells you to go to the website. I love it. Okay. One card's pulls. All right, so we're in the major arcana. Now let's talk let's just talk about the Winter Fool here, because that was the card that I kind of was under kind of speculating about and using that kind of notion of, you know, if I wanted to know about these people and individuals. So a young maiden sneaks away into the woods as often as she can. The others in the village find her strange and lost in her fantasies, so she prefers to spend time among the trees and woodland creatures. Many times she passes by this unsuspecting boulder, but this time she's greeted by an open door to a cold, mysterious, but beautiful land she's never seen before. She doesn't know why she is compelled to step through the threshold. But there is a strange deep inside her urging her to move forward. She carries nothing with her, suggesting all the materials to her and all she needs at this moment are already within her. Heart and soul. Besides her is a fox companion. Okay, that Rider-Waite-Smith, that dog companion. Like the maiden, the fox is deeply misunderstood. Her cleverness and adaptability are far too often viewed as manipulation. Thankfully, the maiden sees the truth of her soul, and in return, the fox uses her cunning and quick thinking to save the maiden from any danger she might face. Her truth in the earth around her has earned her a chance to descend into winter where new adventures and challenges awaits. Okay, love it. So now we have a divinatory meaning here. So, the desire to move forward with an idea or plan, regardless of how reckless it appears, is your invitation to honor the truth of who you're destined to become. No beginning is without obstacles, doubt, fear, or risk. But every step you take in the new direction will uncover things you couldn't possibly know before. Both rewarding and challenging, the Winter Fool is an adventurous expression of your higher self, appearing in your reading to encourage you to trust your instincts, especially when fear tells you not to. The journey ahead of you will be vastly different from where you have come from. But different doesn't necessarily mean bad. The card finds you when the answer is to say yes to new paths. The Winter Fool makes no promises of ease or even enormous success. I love that vision of the Fool, right? It's saying yes, go for it, but it's not promising a positive or a negative outcome. It's saying you gotta try. You gotta just go, right? However, what is promised to you is exactly what you need at this time. The door opens before you, showing you a glimpse of the potential within. Should you say no and miss the chance to discover your strength, explore distant places, fall in love, or change the world with your ideas, or you can step through the threshold and allow the fullness to bring a space to emerge. Beautiful. Okay, I got a little bit nervous seeing yes and no, so let's just... Okay, it was just for that breakdown about the yes or no, like in it. So we have some name changes. The Winter Witch is the Magician. High Priestess is the same. Empress, Emperor, Hierophant, the Lovers, which we'll get back to that card. Chariot, Hermit, Wheel, Winter Consequences, Justice. Thank you for having the scale there, showing that it really is right, and that's also that'll be a key word, right? Winter Consequences, right? That's now going to inform the reading. Hangman, Death, Temperance, Devil, Tower, Star. Okay, so New Moon is still the moon card, right? This idea of the new moon, but midnight is the sun, which is midnight is the sun here. So these both can feel like moon cards, but I like that they went with a dark for the new moon, still really showing that scary and unknown, but having the light, the full moon, the brightest moon that there can be, being the sun for midnight. And it's still showing this kind of dark, mysterious, it's still positive. It's just that really hones in on the hardest time to see things right now. And then self-reflection as judgment, which I love that, self-reflection. And then ascending to spring is the world card, right? It's what have you learned from here on this journey, right? They are one and the same. Ascending to spring, have you found the purpose to get ready to go through this next chapter, right? And I'm curious if follow me here, right? Ascending to spring, right? I wonder if this image somehow is going to become the next series, right? That this card will become the Fool card for the next Seasons of the Witch Tarot, right? Just how this one, back it up, if we were taking the idea of ascending to spring, right? What if this Winter Fool is the ascending to winter in the end of the autumn fall, right? Ascending to winter becomes the start of the Winter Fool, right? Do you get it? Does it make sense? I hope it does. I hope that's the case. Otherwise, copyright. No, I'm just kidding. Feel free to use that. So let's go to the good old Lovers card. So obvious choice here, right? You can see choices. She is staying within her spot and choosing not to venture out. Or is she going to, right? What is the choice that she's going to make here? Is she going to go out to the individual and choose them? Or is she going to choose herself and stay inside? Let's check out the Lovers card. Oh, we have some... Do all of them? No, not all of them have that. Sorry, I just caught something... So the High Priestess, we'll get back to the Lovers, has the meaning, the divinatory meaning, and then has a Winter Wisdom before going into the Empress. Interesting. Okay. I know, Comet. All right. So, the Winter Lovers. Our maiden sits inside her warm, cozy cottage enjoying a cup of tea and her favorite book. Just outside the window can be seen a figure walking down the road. She's just turned them away after a plea for her forgiveness, choosing instead of self-love and her own company. This is why your intuition matters, right? And why the illustrations can tell you exactly where it is. Called it, right? Some sort of choice was made. All right, the divinatory meaning. Traditionally, this card is titled The Lovers, the great way to cause confusion about its meaning. It can certainly represent romantic love, but it's really a card about choice. Choosing who to love for sure, but not exclusively, that as any significant decision can be represented. You may need to choose between one job and another, Decide what kind of person you want to be. Choose to be with someone your family doesn't like. Or perhaps decide whether to stay in a relationship or put yourself first, as our maiden has done. These are the kind of choices that require you to follow your heart and take a brave path when facing crossroads. When your soul draws this card in a reading, is to encourage you to honor your feelings and express yourself in the most authentic way available. Some choices will be difficult, and in those moments, lean on your values to show you the way. Ultimately, this card is here to urge you to make your own heart-based decisions depending on what's important to you, regardless of the options or expectations of other people. Bravo. I love it. It's dark, it's mysterious, it's lovely illustrated. Let's see. Just a quick little flip through. Winter Cups, they are still the same name, right? There's no... the only things that are different are the court cards. So, our page is called the Initiate. The Knight is the Apprentice. The Queen is called the Artisan. And the King is called the Master. And I love those names, right? Those are strategically done. Master still has that active name, right? But it's showing like that masculine name, but master is implying an active nature. You're mastering it. Artisan means that you have crafted it. You have nurtured it. You don't just do, you are it. It's that passive, right? Where master is in your face, right? You mastered it. This is saying, no, I'm artisan. I'm crafting it. I'm caring. I'm nurturing for it. Apprentice says, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, but I still have the skills to do it. I'm learning it. I'm not the best at it, but I'm still gonna give it my all. And Initiate, right? Newcomer, new member, right? You're starting out. You've been initiated, right? You've been welcomed in, but you've still got a long way to go. So I love the keys changed, or the word changes on some of these cards. So let's give ya what you all have been waiting for. So see the shiny uprights and inversions. This is the first time I'm shuffling this deck, so get ready, friends. Might be a little bit beautiful. Shuffles beautifully. So lovely. So that, my friends, is the quick little review. I love it. It's this is going to be your first deck. I say go for it. If this is starting out, it is Rider-Waite inspired, so you still get all of those themes. So you will definitely enjoy this as a starter deck if this is your very first deck. Let me know in the comments if you decided to purchase this deck for your own. That's the whole point of me doing these reviews, is so to help you make the decision on whether or not you would like to purchase these decks for yourself. Friends, I hope you enjoyed today's video. A closer inspection of the Seasons of the Witch Winter Tarot, a walkthrough of Yule in Imbolc, is coming up right now, friends.